I own local support mob programming with Alexander and Sam, who is going to be back soon, and myself, Rajiv. So, hi, Alexander, meeting you for the first time.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I'll start with myself. I'm working on this feature flag thing on local support, which is to, uh, you know, uh, there are certain features which come on local support website, and if the whole idea is we should be able to turn them off and on when we need, so that if certain feature is under development, we don't need to wait for it to be ready to be sent to production, but we can send it to production, implement and turn it off, and there's no surprise there that there's something new there. And that's what that part I'm working on to support this feature flag uh, thing. Mostly my work is involved around doing uh, how we can do the migration of kind of adding or setting a feature flags for developers right at the beginning, and that's what I've been working on. What are you working on?
I'm trying to change error message about expiration token password token expiration, and
Okay.
have some problems with it. Feature flag, it is one feature, or it's general about many features?
Yeah, many features. For example, I'll show you. I'll share my screen. I'll show you what I'm trying to do here.
Like a dashboard where you can switch on, off.
Yeah, that's correct. I'll show you my screen, so I think I'll be able to give you a better idea. For example, if this is the tool I'm working on, which is this one, add migration for existing feature flag. So for the feature flags which are already there, we want to put something. It would be good to create something to check whether flag exists, create default setting, and so on. What I'm doing is I'm working on, if there is a model here which is called feature, and I'll show you that. This is what it does. It can set up the feature flag active, deactivate, check whether it's active or not. And in various migrations, for example, say create volunteer op migration, for this table, which is volunteer ops table, at the migration time, when you start, the feature gets created, and when it is,
It
for
is
example,
about last chapter of Isa's book, where when we dynamically
yes,
add
yes,
features.
yes, yeah. Various features which you want to switch it on or off. That's how, using migration. They should have been done before, but now we need we feel a requirement that they should be done. So that's why we are modifying these migration scripts. Does that make any sense?
Yes, you understand.
Similarly, for example, there is a migration script for creating proposed organization edits, and it has a feature called automated propose org. So along with creating table, along with when migration happens, along with that, we want to set up the features also. That's what the whole idea about these features, feature flag thing is.
And we,
So, would you like to show what part of the code base you're working on, Alexander? What ticket you're working on? I haven't seen all the tickets, so just to get an idea.
okay. I tried to change message, error message. That's, problem is about this password token.
Just while you're setting up there, Alexander, I was just going to show Raj the ticket. You've obviously got the code.
Which ticket is that?
Yeah. So this is. We did look at it yesterday, Raj, but it's this one. This one. It's this chore here.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of the changing password flow, and it's one of these. Basically, when the user resets their password and they have a problem, you know, this error message we think is not very good.
Okay,
but yeah, Alexander, do you want to show Raj now the code?
Yes, I can. No. Yeah. We need to change this message to this message.
Mm-hmm.
But when we add custom message to internationalization file
In devise, right? Raj, you're familiar with devise, yeah?
Yeah.
When we add message, change only second part after reset password token, because I show you.
So yeah, well, I'm seeing that. So you've been
only second part.
Yeah. So you've been trying to change the error message by adjusting the internationalization file, and
Yes.
it's not working. Okay. Yeah, or it's not working. It does part of it, but not all of it. Okay. Does that make sense to you, Raj? What he's saying? Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, shall we? Let's maybe go back now to Raj. Let's have a look at your issue, and we'll try and get into that, and then we'll have a look at Alexander's issue, and we'll have a look at that. Does that sound okay?
Okay.
So what's the problem that you've encountered, Raj, in this?
Yeah, my problem was, let's start with this this create volunteer ops thing. Now I've made changes and gone back to change. I've changed it to, define up, and then that way, and
Okay. Yeah.
that's how I had set it up.
Okay, I noticed here that no, right. So it's funny actually, because on the left hand side, the grey is highlighting the create volunteers op file, but it's it's different from the one that you're actually in. So
sorry.
No, I mean not your problem. I think
okay, yeah, it's
you
create
just click
purpose.
that. Yeah, I was just going to give you.
That
Okay, yeah. So okay, yes.
So yeah, well, I think I actually worked on this one. So I would like to go back to, we'll go back to this rather that. So.
Okay, so we're in the create volunteer ops thing. Okay. So up and down there. Okay.
And then I commented that, and my blocker was I was trying to run test migration. There were two ways I was trying to write a spec file for,
Right.
based on there's somebody else has already written a spec file for
Yeah, there is for
migrations,
migration. Yeah.
and I wanted to use similar way of kind of use
Okay.
and try to do that.
Mm.
I was again I could write this script, could
Mm.
write the spec, but I think I had the same problem which I'll show you next when I
Mm.
was trying to run migration from the command line and to see whether they work or not.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, if I go here and I'll show you, for example,
Mm-hmm.
now when I try to run,
Mm-hmm.
say, migrate using
Right.
that particular version, which is 54759,
Mm-hmm.
which
Mm-hmm.
is 54759,
Mm-hmm.
and so I do here colon up. Will that run the up part of migration only? Because
Well, I mean,
if I don't do up, it's going to run the
well,
change or upload, isn't it?
yeah, I think it doesn't matter whether you put the colon
Yeah.
up there or not.
Okay.
It's going to do the forward thing. I mean,
Yeah.
the key thing here though is you can say migrate that version. I mean, I think, I mean, a lot of it's going to depend upon what state the database is in now. So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you leave that thing there, just open a new tab. If you do, or you're
Yeah.
in iTerm, open a new
Yeah.
tab,
I
and
will show you. Yeah. All
yeah.
right.
Because if you're in the normal term, you could do Command T and it would open you a thing and you wouldn't have to navigate to the same place.
Okay.
I much prefer the basic terminal to iTerm
Okay.
myself, but everybody's different, of course.
Yeah. Here
But so
now, if
if
I
you
do,
do psql and connect to
yeah.
the development database. Oh, well, you're trying to do it on the test database. Okay. Well, connect to the
Yeah.
test database because you've got Rails on the test there.
Okay. Now.
So now do like /dt and get a list of all the things. So now
Yeah.
the really important one to note in here is this: you've got the schema migrations table. Can you see that? So if you do select star from schema migrations, so do you know how the
Yeah.
schema migrations table works?
Yeah. It will go through these all migration versions or look for the command, corresponding scripts and run them. Yeah.
Well, that's not quite. That's a good guess. It's not quite how it's working. The schema migrations table is a store of the migrations that have been run in the past.
Okay. Yeah.
So if we, I mean, the ordering is a little bit odd, but basically what it's supposed to be is that these are, I mean, of course you can sort it by date, but this is a kind of record of what the schema of the database should be. It basically says, in order to create this database, what we've done so far is we've run through each of these. So if you did rake db rollback from the command line, I'm not saying doing it, I'm just saying if you did.
Yeah.
If you did, what would happen is it would take the last, the system, the Rails system, knows which schema it's on from this list. So if you did rollback, what it would do is it would try and roll back or run the down method on the last, the last one of these things, and so on. So now, if you run rake db migrate version like this, I think what it might try and do is it will try and, from the current database state, it will try and roll back to that version. But let's see. Do you want to run?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Something. What it was doing was it was kind of running the rest of them also.
Okay. Yeah. Well, so let's go back and
Okay.
let's run
I'm
that and
going to
let's see
run
exactly
that.
what happened. Yeah.
And this one is like.
Yeah.
It looks like this.
And by the way, I hope you've got the recording locked on your screen, yeah, rather than bouncing around. Do you know what I mean? Like when if you're in the Hangout.
Yeah.
Yeah, because looking at the Hangout, I think you've got it still locked on Alexander's face. So if you go back to the Hangout, so while we've been doing all that detailed work, the recording has got Alexander's face. But so, and now it's gone back to me. But so what you click on yourself in the recording.
Yeah.
No. But see now you need to do like a long click on yourself so that you get the white line surrounding it. Click again on yourself. That's it. There. That's it. No, you clicked again and it went away. Can you see? There's a bold white line.
Around it,
Now carefully move away from the Hangout and go back to the thing. And so this is the tricky thing with running the Hangout yourself, is that although we've been looking at some really interesting things there, unfortunately we'll lose them to the recording. But not to worry. We can see them again now. Let's go back to the terminal. Let's go back to the terminal.
Okay, so
terminal here. So let's just show. So for the benefit of the recording, let's go back to the migration, the schema table that was in the other terminal window that we were just talking about. Yeah, this one here. So we were just looking at the schema migrations. This is the one. This is the list of all the schema migrations. So yes, now let's go back to the other terminal window and let's see the result of trying to run the migration to this version.
So now it fails here.
Yes.
And this is on migration, which is an entirely different version than. Oh, my thinking was it was just going to run that particular migration script, but it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. I think it. I might be wrong, but I think what it tries to do when you run rake db migrate version that is it tries to go from its current state to that old state. So if we go back to RubyMine, so the migration that you're trying to run, let's see the list of migrations in the left-hand side here. So which is the migration that you're trying to run? The create volunteer ops, the 2000, this one. Right?
Yeah.
So this is the thing, is that the database is in the state of the last thing. So what it's trying to do, is trying to get from the last one back to that point in order to run
back up to here, and then
and so that's what it's doing. It's running all of these other things, and then there's if we go back to the error message. If we go back to the error message, and we see here it's had a problem in this one, which is add search input bar on all pages. If we go back to the RubyMine, we see that the problem it's having is that if you scroll down on that left-hand side, that the one it's trying to run it's basically this one here. If you double click on that one, the add search input bar, what it's trying to do is it's trying to roll back that one as the first step towards getting back to the place that you've asked it to go. And
this does not exist.
That doesn't exist, and so that's failed.
Yeah. So I was looking at it, and that's what not exactly what we explained our thought, but I thought it's trying to bring back the database to a stage so that it can run this migration. It's running back, and then.
It's not even
this migration.
It's not actually the interesting thing. Go back to the terminal. If you go back to the terminal, this thing that you're saying here, rake db migrate version, it's not even, I think, going to run that migration. That version thing is not saying get back to and then run it. It's saying go back to the state that you would be in having run that migration. And it's the kind of thing. So if we look at and I've got here, like, let's have a look. If I do here, if you look at my screen, so if I do rake db migrate minus help like this, and we have a look here. So we've got, let's have a look. We can have the tasks. If we do this, I want to get up. But what I want to do is pull up for the db migrate. Here we go. We've got db migrate rake. That's everything. That's that help message. Can I do rake help db migrate? What's the? No. Oh, that's annoying. I can't remember the precise syntax for. Well, I can look it up on Google. But so basically, if we look at rake db migrate syntax, there'll be a way to pull it out of the command line. I wonder if that's. No. Okay, we'll just have to go in here. Because the migrate takes options. Because you've learnt about that version option.
Yeah.
So if we have a look in here, version. There we go. So if you specify a target version, Active Record will run the required migrations, change up or down, until it has reached the specified version. Yeah. So this is this thing here. Version is greater than the current version. This will run the change up or down, or up migrations up to including. If migrating downwards, this will run the down method on all migrations down to, but not including that
so
one.
it doesn't run that.
So,
It brings up to that. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So this,
So
I mean, this is the kind of go on.
Yeah, my main intention is, rather than running whole migration to test whether this particular migration fails or not,
Yes.
if there was a way of running testing that particular migration only.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so there is, as you've discovered, there is this like there is a way of writing a test of a migration, which I'm personally, so we have this one. I'm not sure that I'm not sure that it's really sensible to be writing a test here, in as much as it just feels like, there's kind of a higher level thing of basically, if people check every time the continuous integration runs, it pulls out the entire thing and it runs all of the migrations anyway. So we're going to know pretty soon if it's broken. So it seems like it's kind of fiddly to kind of do that.
Yeah, it's too much to kind of.
I mean, I think one could get into it, but it feels a bit overkill in some ways for these very simple things that we're doing. Go on.
Well, look at the script we have written, like for example, my thing.
Yes.
Here.
Okay, and so note now if you carry on. Sorry, no, go on. Yeah, you were saying. Go on.
Am I?
No, you're good. You're good. Carry on. You're good.
Okay.
Carry on.
Yeah, just was after yesterday's discussion, and I look at my script as up is quite okay. It will create a table. There is hardly anything wrong here, and then add an index, and then add a feature also. And when it goes down, drop table, and if it finds it's going to destroy in real situation, if the migration has worked okay, worked well, it will have that feature. So it will have, this will not fail. It will always destroy that also.
It'll be fine.
So in a way, the script is working, but I wanted to test it apart from.
Absolutely. Yes. No. Yeah. What you're saying there is, from reading it, it seems like it would work, but you want to test that it does work, which is absolutely right. I mean, so I think that there's different things that we can do here. I mean, one is that if we want to test a individual thing, is that kind of you want to get back, like if you think the state of your current database is at the end of all of the migrations, right? So if you wanted to test this individual migration, you could roll back to the one before, which is add link visible flag to page, and then roll forward. But note that in order to do that, you have to go through. If you scroll down on the left-hand side, not too fast. To stay with the migration here, is you've got changes in create proposed organization edits and add search input bar on all pages. So if you're trying to test this one first, from the current state of your database, you're going to be in trouble. So it seems to me you've got a couple of options there. What do you think your options might be?
Yeah, I think I will probably, a couple of things I did last night, which is I just added, going on Ruby Rails console, and added a test like we did yesterday, test feature, and tried to run these commands, which are valid commands, and they run, and they were successful. That's one thing, just to test. I'm not making any syntax error or typo error. So another thing I could do is I could not change altogether. So start from, say, bring this back to as it was before, and no changes there. Start changes here, and roll it back up to here, and then migrate and see if this works. So rest of it work. Then come back here, make changes, new changes, and then roll it back and test it here. That's how. That's one way I think.
Although note that the failure that you're getting at the moment is in the add search input bar on org pages migration.
Because
just double click on that one. Let's bring that up. The add search input bar on org pages. So, and interestingly, so there's a problem here I mean, you could. This is you haven't made any changes here, so it's
No.
still failing to roll back because of you know, some problems there, which I'm a little bit.
Well,
Well,
it
might
just
be
says
related.
that this is destroy method is not found on this. So I checked the table, feature table, and
Yeah.
on a test,
Yeah.
that table doesn't have any features. I don't know why, but so
Right.
probably my
Well,
migration in the beginning hasn't run properly when I set this up.
yeah, maybe or what have you. But so I think that there are other options that it's. I can think of at least two other
Yeah,
options. So
yeah,
so one is that, you know, in this situation where it fails to do this destroy, we don't necessarily have to stop the migration. Like, we're basically trying to delete something,
yeah,
right? Here. And realistically, you know, if it doesn't exist, we don't want to fail. That means it's already deleted. So we could
yeah.
put a
So yeah,
rescue block in there. The other thing is that we could drop the database and recreate from the beginning, right? Because then if you now like
mm,
in some ways the database might be in all sorts of strange states. We just don't know.
correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
so what you could do is you could drop the test database and then try and recreate it, and that would mean that the migrations would run in order, and it would mean that it would get to create volunteer ops first.
yeah.
Does that sound like
So
an idea?
yeah, so if I even I tried that last night. I tried to do reset.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that on a test.
Uh-huh.
So is it now it will drop everything and start all over again, or I have to do separate?
Well, I don't see reset. Like, did you ran that, and what happened when you ran that?
Yeah, it gives similar errors with the
Well,
changes I have.
let's see what happens.
Yeah, it comes back to again, the last migration
So
probably.
let's have a look. Let's have a look here. But now, so here, webmock not allowed. No, is this, where's this?
It's different. Sorry. Yeah. Oh,
So yeah, I mean we're getting. So if we look through the back, then that's interesting. Can you scroll down a little bit? Like not. Well, actually, I need to see the whole thing. So scroll. Let's go up to the top there. So what it's trying to do, it's saying, I can't. So create categories. Okay. So but what it's doing here is it's trying to load the schema. I can see there.
okay.
So I
Yeah.
think reset is. I think reset is not replaying
Okay.
the migrations. It's just loading the schema, which is a different thing. And then if you scroll, yeah, that's then encountering. If you scroll down, some other problem.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm just going to work out where this is happening. Keep on scrolling down. Go on further. Further down. And so this is here in. I'm looking in the code. This is happening in like organization, and there's basically something. I don't know. I mean, personally, I would never use reset.
Okay.
So the thing I think what you want to do is to do the drop operation. So if you hit the up
Yeah.
key. And we'll have to get onto Alexander's things there. So if you move backwards, hit the, you can hold down Alt and jump backwards. No. We will keep the reset. Keep that. That's all good. Just move and edit reset and replace it with the word drop. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that will just get rid of the test database. So hit return. Yeah. Let's drop the test database because we don't, playing around with it. And then having dropped it, we want to migrate it. So even there, one other. So you need to log out of the other terminal window. While you're doing that. So Alexander, so is this? Are you able to follow this thing about the migrations? Have you done a lot of work with migrations?
I think I can.
You can follow. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I would say, Raj, I didn't mean you to go and look at. Stay with your thing. Stay with your terminal. I'm just sort of bringing Alexander in because you're.
Okay.
So have you logged out of the database in the other terminal? There's another terminal window that you've got. Yeah. So you need to. So did you understand the message that we got there? It said so yeah, that's right. So come back. So now do the drop again. So we're almost finished here, Alexander, and we'll look at your issue.
Yeah.
And then now hit the up arrow again, and now edit it so it says migrate instead of drop, and hit return. And so now it will start, unlike reset, which I think will try and load the schema, which is just an awful thing to do. I mean, this may still fail. Okay, right. So you've got to do create first rather than. Yeah, so hit up, and you've gone too far, I think. Oh yeah, that's fine. Where you are? Yeah, rate DB traits. That would like so. And then in principle, that you can then run the migrates after.
I think I'll run because I got a few changes there. I want to make sure that they're all in place, and then I'll test.
But what I would say, no, it's so important that you run migrate now. Don't wait. Like, let's at least see what happens.
Yeah.
It's very important for us to confirm that this, what goes on here. So what should happen? I mean, and there's always the chance. I mean, I'm building a model in my mind of what happens, but there's always a chance. But now let's have a look at the error that we get there, which is relation features that do not exist. So we've encountered a higher level problem here. Go back to the. Can you see the error? Go back down.
Feature does not exist.
Right, and so we've encountered a new problem. That is a bigger problem than any of the other things. Does this new problem make sense to you? It's quite a complex one, so don't worry if it doesn't.
Now there is somewhere some relation is defined and says it does not exist.
Yes, that is the nature of the problem. If you just come and look at my screen for a moment, this is a really tricky one, and I'll just, like, I had overlooked this in advising you to do certain things. But if we look, so this point here, create volunteer ops, at the point at which we are thinking of introducing features, is actually before we create the features table.
Okay.
So basically, we can't really introduce features in here.
Yeah.
We can only do it after that. So yeah. So that's. I mean, that in principle we can still be putting the feature in here.
Yeah, because features table is there. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think we can. I mean, what that would make sense to do then is, rather than creating the features in the create volunteer ops, that was the first feature that we created, is maybe put them in here instead, in the create features.rb. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So I think we've does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Have we kind of covered everything?
Yes. Yeah.
And I guess I would just. Are you open for a bit of feedback?
Yes, please. Yeah.
So this is. I mean, this is all good. I think we've managed to dive deep down into this and look at some different things. What I was going to say is that you even not having got it working or what have you, you still could push. You could commit the code to a branch and push it to a pull request, so that I could review it before we come into the mob programming session. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. When you spoke with Sam, saying whatever you have, you can just, like Yana has done before. I could have really pushed the code whatever I thought was work in progress last night, and then you could have had look before. Yeah.
That's right. And it's just and obviously you won't have time, every night to do that, and you're like, oh, I'm going to need to stop, and it's a break, whatever. But I think, if you get into the habit of just pushing whatever you have into the branch and leaving it on there, and I get up like at 5:30 every day, and what that means is just I'll be probably able to, if I'd had that, I could have maybe worked this out in advance, and we could have done this all a little bit faster. Anyway, great.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Definitely.
Fantastic. All right, let's have a look. So and the same thing for Alexander. I guess you don't have a pull request yet?
Yes.
So I wonder actually. Yeah. Do you want to have you got the I know the code is not working, but have you committed the code?
No, I don't commit, but I can show
The
what
code.
I
Yes.
can show.
I wonder, would you do me a favor and commit the code and get it into a pull request now? Can we do that? Do you think we could do that now?
If I commit, I don't commit to gem device gem, because it is not in repository.
Right.
Mm,
Okay. But so you can, well, if you're making a change, I mean the okay. Well, maybe show me some more of what you're doing then. Yeah. You want to show me more
I
of what's
should
going on? Yeah.
show you.
Show me where you're making the changes.
If I localize record, if I change message about expiration of reset password token, it's
Uh-huh.
change half message. First
Okay.
half is stuck. Правильно.
For some reason, I can't see your screen yet. I might just try reloading the Hangout. Yeah. So maybe, Alexander, you will need to reload the Hangout. I've reloaded, but I still can't see your screen. So do you want to, if you just do Command R, just refresh the browser to reload the Hangout? Alexander?
Yeah.
Can you try reloading the Hangout? Refresh the browser? Oh, I think he's doing it. Yeah. Yeah. So Rad. So Alexander is in the Far East. He's done the online, edX MOOC course, and he's quite experienced with Ruby and Rails, but obviously having some connection issues. There we go, Alexander. Yes. You want to try sharing your screen again?
Okay.
Yeah. Can see it now. Yeah. Can see it now. Well done. Great.
If I change error message in language file, it change only second half of message.
Yes.
First,
Yes.
the reset password token, because it's using uh, because it's
Yeah. Yes. I understand. Can you do git status for me on the command line so I can see what you've changed? Git status on the command line?
okay. Can you see?
I can see your screen, but at the moment it's just I can see the error message and so on. Are you typing git status?
Yes, I did that in the screen.
You've done git status. I guess the screen is not updating fast enough. Yeah. So yeah, now I can see it. Now I can see it. Okay. So hold on. So just yeah, I think the connection is not wonderful. Yeah. So you have yeah. So you have changed the files. We've got devise.en.yaml, en.yaml, and the passwords controller spec. Yeah. So I would say like you could commit these files to a branch and do a pull request, and that would make it much easier for me to help you. Do you understand?
Uh,
Alexander.
I think it's I think it's not не поможет. I think it's not help. I can объяснить. I can tell about that. If what device helper.
Yeah. So Alexander, I think that to work effectively, I really need you to, do the pull request, even if the pull request is with a broken test. Yeah, so I can see the code myself and navigate the code myself. I think we have, connection problem. It's difficult to see. It's very difficult to help you unless I can navigate the code myself. Do you understand?
Uh, I don't change code. It's not changed. Uh,
Well, even not necessarily the code, but the files. I don't mean necessarily the code, but you have some changes. Yeah, from Git status, we see that there are some changes that you made to one test, to some supporting files. Yeah.
okay.
So I think it's if we had a great connection, that was updating quickly with good audio, I could provide more help over the Hangout.
Okay.
But I think it's
Okay.
difficult today. So if you put the code, not just the changes to the YAML and the
I
spec
work
into a pull request, then maybe we can, and then I can prepare and we can look at it together. Again, even we can maybe work it out we can have discussion in the pull request. Does that make sense?
okay.
So yeah, okay, cool. So you're gonna do you're gonna do that now. Yeah. Well, I guess maybe we will leave you to do that, or Raj.
Yeah,
So you're happy to get on with the features thing now if you want to.
yeah. I'll make the changes and send a pull request soon.
Okay, cool. And I was going to say maybe that you and Alexander might be interested in working together, but I guess if the connection is bad, then that's probably not such a good idea right now. It's
Yeah, at the moment, yes. Otherwise, yeah,
yeah. On other days, Alexander's connection has been better, but
yeah.
yeah. Okay. So
I won't
well,
mind.
yeah,
Yes, I'll like to do that. Yes.
yeah. Well, yeah, so I guess you're running this Hangout, so it's sort of there. Alexander, are you okay to do the pull request by yourself? Do you need our help, or you're okay? Yeah.
I can myself.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe shall we stop we'll stop the session now. Yeah.
Okay.
And when I can see your code, Alexander, I'll come back to you and Raj. Yeah, I'll look forward to seeing your pull request soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
See you then. See you
Okay.
later.
Thanks, Raj. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks, Alexander. Sorry that the connection was not so good, but I will definitely give you help in the pull request. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'll stop the recording now.
Yeah. All right.